Okay, guys. So for our today's session, what we're doing is we're going to create uh, a Windows 11 operating system within within our virtual machine. Okay, within our VMware workstation. I will be showing the installation of VMware workstation later. As of now, I have my VMware Workstation Pro 17 already installed. So like you can see here, it is already installed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new virtual machine with my Windows 11 iOS image, which I have downloaded previously. Windows 11 iOS image can be downloaded from Windows 11 site itself, so it is not very difficult to get hold of a Windows 11 ISO image. So ISO image is nothing but an image which the system recognizes as a file to install particular operating systems. Normally, it is not as an image file. Image file, the extension is an ISO file. Okay, so it is not a big confusing extension. Most of the operating systems come in ISO image files, which is easier for installation. So first what we need to do is create a new virtual machine, and we just need to go next with typical. And over here we will not select the operating system in the beginning. We will select it in the end only. So here I will select, I will install the operating system later. Next, here I have selected Microsoft Windows 11. Like you can see, other operating systems can also be installed here, but provided that we have the correct operating system's ISO file. Next, here what I'm doing is, since I'm not having much space in my C drive, I'll be installing it in my D drive. So I've created a folder known as virtual machines in my D drive, and I'm clicking OK. Next, here I'm just giving a password for my system to turn on. In some versions of VMware, you don't have to give a password, but for my version, it is asking a password. Here I'm giving maximum disk page space as 200 GB, and I will store the virtual disk as a single file. And click on next. Customize the hardware. I'm going to give a RAM of 16 GB since I have almost 32 GB RAM. And processor, I'll be giving 4 processors and 4 core processors. So my total processor core is 16. If you don't know much about processors or core processors, it is better you leave it as default. Since I have a knowledge about core processors and processors, and I have that much spec in my system, I am able to adjust this to what number of cores are showing below. Okay, and over here you can see this new CD DVD SATA. So the difference between installing in a VMware and installing directly onto a system is that in a system, when you install a Windows 11, we need a bootable pen drive with the ISO image on the pen drive. Okay, here in the place of a pen drive, I already have the ISO image in my system, so I will just select the ISO image over here from my system directly. So I have put it in my desktop, so you can see Windows 11 2025 version, and it is an ISO image. I will select it and click open. And I think that's all what I need to do, and I will click close and finish. Okay, so as you can see here, the system has turned on. Now I will power on the virtual machine. Okay, it takes some time depending on the type of system you have. Virtual machine is sometimes used by people who handles what do you say, virtual boxes or sandboxes. Like for some cybersecurity people, they involve virtual boxes as it can be used as a sandbox. Like certain testing purposes can be done, testing can be done within virtual boxes. We don't need to have certain OSs already installed in our computer as an operating system. We can install it within a virtual box and use. Now, for me, in this VMware workstation, I can install at least 4 to 5 different operating systems. Understand? Like Windows 11, I can install Windows 10. I can even install Mac OS. I can also install Linux also. So it is like a multiple operating system controller for me, to keep it in simple terms. So now let's go ahead with the installation. Okay, once this page is come, initially the screen will look like this because the graphics is not installed, nothing is installed. And so later on, in once the installation is complete, everything will look normal as a computer. So here I'm just going ahead with the default settings. Here I am selecting install Windows 11 and I agree. Next. Here I don't have a product key. Okay. So I'll be showing you how to install a Windows 11 without a product key and later on activating it with a KMS activator. Here I'm gonna select Windows 11 Home because that is what is better for installation since it is for a home system. If you are someone who's working with working apps like professional applications of Windows, and you can see the differences between a home version of Windows and a pro version of Windows. Some of them have an extra set of applications which are already coming with the installation. So if you are a person who's just wanting it for home-based installation, I think you can go for a Windows 11 home version. That is, your kids can use, or for basic office purposes and all, you can use this. Just press accept and move forward. This usually takes some time, so we need to wait a little bit. Okay. Okay, here we need to select the language and the country and the region. Here you can either enter your name and proceed, or you can even skip and move to the next step. Now you can see that the installation is over. It took some time for me to install. Now we will proceed. I'm not giving it a name right now. Let's see what it comes in front. Now next step is updating the system. I'm giving it update later, so I will do update later after I'm in the PC. So first let's turn it on. The installation is complete now. So sometimes when you're trying to install Windows 11 and if the internet is on, they'll ask you to sign in with your Microsoft account, or otherwise they will not allow you to enter into the OS. So you can bypass that by pressing Shift and F10. Okay, Shift key and F10, and this command prompt will open. And over here you can type OOBE in capital backslash sorry forward slash and bypass NRO. So what it does is it removes that internet. It removes the internet temporarily for the installation so that it will skip that step where we have to sign in and make us go forward. So like I said, it just went forward and it is not now asking for signing in. So our system is turning on now. All the installation is completed. In a couple of minutes, our system will turn on. Main thing you need for this is a little bit patience. Sometimes, depending on the spec of the computer, the installation can take a little longer than expected. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go to settings and do a complete update of the system. Okay, so now what we are doing is that now the system is turned on. Now, as you can see that the graphics is not installed, the Windows is very shrinked position, so it has to come into the complete resolution. That will only happen once the graphics is completely installed. Okay, along with the graphics, the display tools and the display drivers all will be installed as necessary. Once that is done, it will look like this. Now you can see that the graphics is completely installed and everything looks like a original computer.